Okay, this next card is absolutely my most favorite card. I should say that. I think it is. I don't know. There's a lot of good cards. But this is such a pretty card, and it's really easy to create. I am going to be using the Adirondack chair, as well as these gorgeous cherry blossoms. At least I think that's what they are. And the Adirondack chair is going to be die cut out of a piece of the wood grain paper. There's two sides, so pick whichever side you want, and you have enough to cut 2 chairs. We will use another chair, I think, on the notepad later on, so make sure you have both of those. And you're also going to stamp and die cut this little flower. So pull out your scrap piece of paper, and we're going to take that flower, and there's 3 flowers. So I'm just going to pull all 3 of them out so you can kind of see the difference. This one is this one, but there's 2 others, and really you can use whichever one you want. It doesn't matter. There are also 3 center thingies, and you can kind of use whichever one fits. You might want to practice just a little if you aren't sure about it. The ink that you're going to use is Calypso Coral and Old Olive for the sentiment, and then Early Espresso for the branch. So I'm just grabbing all my ink colors quick. Okay, so to start with, I'm going to stamp my little flower right here. I don't need much space at all for it, which is kind of awesome. And then I'm going to do my little center with the Early Espresso. And then, of course, I'll die cut both of those out. And you can see it just fits right on there like so. Kind of cool. Then, well, actually, I'll leave this open. Well, I'm going to die cut first, and then we'll start arranging our pieces. Now, the other thing you're going to die cut is the scallop image that comes in the framelits as well on our scrap. So you just want to go all the way across. And one tip for that is you want to make sure that it is sort of even, and I'll show you what I mean. I'm grabbing the die so I can demonstrate. When you die cut this, you don't want to have, well, actually, never mind, it fits pretty well. I was going to say you want them to be centered. You don't want like a part and a part of one hump on one end. That's just me being really picky, but it actually centers up quite nicely. So never mind. Haha, kidding. Okay, so die cut those pieces and then we'll get back. Okay, so I have my 3 pieces die cut, my flower, my chair, and my scallop edge. Then I have a piece of Whisper White that is going to line up right here. We'll, of course, add this, and it looks like I'm going to need to trim my piece just a little bit. That happens sometimes. And then I'm going to set my chair right here. And of course my flower will go right there. I'm just going to set it there as a place marker so that when I stamp, everything will fit correctly. So I'm going to stamp my sentiment. And I love the sentiments that come in the stamp set. If you haven't noticed, they are pretty awesome. Having said that though, I think I moved this one. Oh no, here it is. Goodness gracious. There's so many, I have all these stamps just mounted and sitting out next to me, and there's a whole bunch in this set, so it takes me just a second to find them. Okay, so may all your tomorrows be as happy as today. Then I will take the branch image, okay, and then I'm going to stamp that. Actually, no, I'm not going to stamp that one. There's 2 branch images. I need the smaller one. I just have to find it. Here we go. It was under something. Shocking. Okay. So I'm going to stamp this in Early Espresso right about there. Okay. Then I'll take the little flower image, which is designed to fit around the branches. So they planned it out perfectly, and I like to kind of figure it out before I put ink. They set it up perfectly so you can see there's the kind of the gaps in the Early Espresso are where the flowers fit in, so that's pretty cool. You can see the little spaces are right there, and of course with the clear ink, or the clear stamp images, it's really easy to get all of that lined up just right. So there we go. I think that looks good. Oh, perfect. That always makes me kind of giddy when it lines up so well. Okay, the other thing that I'm going to do is add little dots with my marker, and we'll do a little spritzing. So first of all, I'm going to add a little dot to the center of each of those with my marker, because I just think that kind of punctuates the little flowers. And we had the stamen here, so that looks nice. And then I'm also going to do just a little spritzing with my marker. I'm going to move this aside though for that. And there we go. You can see I just got a few spritzes. What is the word for that? I don't know. And I didn't want to go ahead and do more because oftentimes when I do that, I get too much. Okay, so I will go ahead and adhere this and line it up so it's nice and straight on my card. Put that down, and then I'll use my snips to just trim this excess off. That happens sometimes. The cut paper doesn't line up exactly the way you think it's going to. But there we go. So that looks pretty good. All we need to do now is add this over the top. And I think I'm going to use my glue for that because it's pretty easy to do. I'll just sponge a little more on with our gross sponge. It is effective though. It might not be pretty, but it works. Okay, so I've got that. Then I'm going to pop my little flower up just because I think that'll be cute. Yeah. And you can use a regular glue dot or a mini. I happen to have a hunk of a glue dot, or not a glue dot, this is a dimensional. Okay, now the last thing I'm going to do is take, remember that baker's twine we had? Or not baker's twine, my goodness, this is linen thread. I'm going to tie a bow around here. Now I wrapped it 2 times. And I also see that I stamped my thing up too high. So you know what, I'm going to just do it around the whole card, and I'll show you why in a second. This was up too high, so it would go cut right across, and I don't want to miss that. So, okay, now the last thing you have is a piece of the printed paper. So we're going to adhere that to our card as well. So let's fold this up. And then I'm going to adhere my piece. Of course, you can use either side, whichever you prefer. I love the ombre look of this paper, though. It's so pretty. I'm going to leave just a skinny little strip on the edge of my card. I think that even helps see the look. And then I'll also leave that skinny strip on this edge of my card. So very easy. Is that popped up? Gosh darn it, it is. So then I'll take some more dimensionals, and I love using my corner pieces or edge pieces for this kind of thing. So I just like chopping these up. That one just fell right off. Okay. We'll do one in the center too. I kind of do that when we have big spaces. Okay. Now we'll adhere that again, just leaving that cute little edge like so. Okay. Last but not least, I'm going to tie this twine all the way around the card, the whole card, instead of just that layer again, so that I would see the beauty that is that pretty little blossom branch. Okay, but I'm going to wrap this around twice. So I've given you enough to do that, and then we'll tie our bow at the other, this end over here. Now I really enjoy tying my bows upside down because I find I get a better looking bow that way. You may find you get a better looking bow a different way, but that's just what works for me. So do what works for you. And I'm smushing this with my finger so it stays in place. And goodness, this is like the most goofy looking bow ever, but we will mess with it and it'll be pretty here in 1 second. And then I'll just trim that excess off. And isn't that a gorgeous card? Oh, I just love it. So cute.